next guest is one of the most articulate conservative spokesmen in the country, chairman of American Target Advertising, Richard Viguerie. Our champion. Hiya, Richard. Thank you.
And joining us live from his office is Richard Viguerie, the nationally known publisher of the Conservative Digest.
Behind me are the headquarters of the Viguerie Company. Its president, Richard Viguerie, is the undisputed kingpin of direct mail fundraising. Since 1965, he's used letters, millions of them, to promote conservative causes and conservative candidates. The results have been nothing short of spectacular.
I listened on the television and heard a Richard Viguerie. Now, he's not a very well-known figure, but he was attacking me. I'm not even sure he's a Republican, and yet when the media and some of the Democrats want to find people to quote in opposition to the president, they dredge him up. He's got a big mailing list and a big mimeograph machine, but he doesn't have a lot of influence. I'm a conservative, but I'm not a nut about it.
So I'm a nut about conservative ideas and philosophy and freedom and liberty.
And congratulations as well to Richard Viguerie on receiving the Defender of Freedom Award.
We're going to succeed, maybe not in my lifetime, but I'm not responsible for winning, but I am responsible for trying.
He should be, true north for someone who wants to be a real leader of the movement, to understand the burden, the responsibility that a leader has.
My father, I think, worshipped Richard Viguerie's capabilities. He had a high regard for Richard.
You can see Richard Viguerie's fingerprints on almost every organization that exists today.
Richard was already rumored to have behind his desk in his office a giant faucet that he could turn on, and money would pour into the treasury of any group that he was willing to take on as a client.
Direct mail. It's to the new right what Middle East oil is to industry. It's lifeblood. Millions of letters a year, raising millions of dollars.
You can't imagine the modern conservative movement without Richard Viguerie.
For him, the conservative movement is first, last, and always.
You sold pots and pans through the mail. Richard Viguerie started selling a philosophy through the mail.
If the left had ever shut down the postal mail, there'd be no conservative movement.
He empowered them to have a voice, and it built a movement in the process.
He was trying to figure out how to reach out to people at the grassroots, and he basically invented direct mail, which was what built the whole conservative movement over the whole next generation.
He's a genius. He's tireless. He's fearless.
He's certainly the reason I wake up. I hate to go to bed at night, can't wait to get up in the morning, charge hell every morning with a bucket of water.
He was really the first person to come along and say, let's use this means of communication to raise funds for political purposes, which is why we call him the funding father of the conservative movement.
The model of going straight to the people is one that Mail first achieved, and of course, the funding father can tell you all about that.
He is the funding father of modern conservative politics.
He was certainly the funding father of the conservative movement.
The funding father.
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 Good morning. I'm Richard Viguerie. Look out, Viguerie is just getting started.